Hi guys, I've got another album on vinyl, which is what I'm going to be talking about in today's video. Electronic Sound is the second studio album by George Harrison, released on the 9th of May 1969 under the Beatles' short-lived Zapple record label. It was one of the first electronic music albums released by a rock musician. Here's a closer look of my album. The cover was actually painted by George. And I also have the album on CD as well. And in the booklet that comes with this CD, George's son Danny talks about seeing this painting for the first time. Danny says that this man on the front is Bernie Krause, who is an American musician, and it's through him that George bought the system that he's playing here, which is called a Moog synthesizer. Under George's name, so I'm assuming down here somewhere, Krause's name was originally included on the front cover, but Krause insisted his name be taken off, so it was painted over. But in the original pressings, his name is visible under the silver ink. And this little face down here is apparently George, who is making tea. And this green shape over here is Joystick, who was one of George's Siamese cats. And then looking at the back, we can see the vinyl there, which I just love how this vinyl is decorated. I just really love the look of this vinyl. And then in my version, I have this booklet inside. And at the back of the booklet, we have the back cover of the album. On my CD, we have the image actually on the back. And this is another painting by George showing a scene from Derek Taylor's office. And according to Danny, Derek is the one flying an angry kite. The faces here on the chair are Mal Evans and Neil Aspinall. We have Mal who's smiling and Neil doesn't look so happy. The four portraits over here are of the Beatles. And these two paintings were apparently parts of a much larger painting which Danny discovered in the 1990s. I just really love this artwork, and reading Danny's words about it I just found so interesting. And here's a closer look of the album I have on CD. I'm really glad that I have both, because it's in this CD that I have the little booklet. That's the story of Danny discovering the paintings. Oh, missed a page there. And on this side, I have the CD that says Zapple there, with the apple behind it. A bit of background on the album. In 1967, George became interested in using keyboard instruments for his songwriting. And in 1968, while in LA, George became interested in the Moog synthesizer. And he was introduced to the instrument by Bernie Krause. There are two tracks on the album. Side 1 is called Under the Mersey Wall, and side 2 is called No Time or Space. And it takes about 44 minutes to listen to the full album. No Time or Space was recorded in November 1968 with the help of Krause. Krause later said that No Time or Space was a recording of him demonstrating the system, and that it was recorded without his knowledge, saying that if he had known, he wouldn't have given his consent, as he played ideas he intended to develop for his own album. George recorded Under the Mersey Wall in February 1969 at his house in Esher, after Krauss travelled to England to help him set up the Moog system. Electronic Sound was released on Zapple Records on the 9th of May 1969 in the UK and the 26th of May in the US. The album was released not long after Lennon's and Yoko's Life with Lions album, which was the first released under Zapple. Both albums confused the majority of the public, with many finding them practically unlistenable. Rolling Stone album guide Mac Randall called the album interesting, though only for established fans. Electronic Sound failed to chart in the UK and reached number 191 in the US. Zapple was shut down shortly after the album's release, making the two albums under Zapple very popular collector's items. Now for my personal thoughts on Electronic Sound. I have listened to the album once, and I did manage to listen to it all the way through, and as much as I love George, this album just isn't for me. It's my least favourite of George's solo albums. I much prefer his Wonderwall music to this one, but although I personally don't find this album an enjoyable listening experience, I do love the history behind it. It was an experimental journey for George, trying something different he was interested in at the time, but in the words of George Harrison, it could be called avant-garde, but a more apt description would be avant-garde clue. Thank you very much for watching. Please let me know your thoughts. I really hope that you have enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!